Would I be the asshole if I, 34M, pay off the mortgage without telling my wife, 33F? During the holidays, a close relative of mine graciously offered to pay off our mortgage after a business deal resulted in generating wealth. They were wealthy before the business deal, now extremely wealthy. Yeah, they have a private jet. I threw that in there. It's fun, though. They got a pool filled with milk and Fruit Loops. My wife is not comfortable. The milk refreshes. Calm down.
What are we spending our money on here, Richie Rich?
My wife is not comfortable accepting the money. Her stance is that she has always worked for everything and never been handed anything. I admire her drive and want to respect her wishes, but it's a lot of money. We're comfortable financially, but this would obviously allow us to save money each month. Our mortgage has about $250K left at 6% interest. Lovely. Both my wife and I contribute a portion of our paycheck to pay for expenses, but I handle most of finances. My salary, 3x hers.
Trend.
Would I be the asshole if I accept the gift without telling my wife and transfer each month's mortgage payment into our brokerage account? Edit, for context, we're roughly the same age as this relative and hang out with them on a semi-regular basis.
Yikes.
I mean, I actually have had this talking point for a while. I mean, this is giving I think this is a very toxic capitalist thing they put into us. Like, I earned it and you got to earn it. And I earned it, and nobody helped me. And this thought is also, I think, it's a thought terminating cliche too for understanding other people, right? Because it's in this world where I earned it and I did it all by myself. Everyone who isn't in a good place, therefore, didn't earn it, and they couldn't have been the victim of any kind of a broader system. So it's kind of like this clearly ridiculous thought, which obviously the real world I think is a mixture. It's well, there are systems that help people and disempower other people. And there is individual responsibility, which is powerful, but realistically, you kind of need a little bit of both to succeed, huh?
Yep.
Oh, you built an app? Is that what you built? Oh, you needed the internet for that, didn't you, motherfucker? Did you make up the internet?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You know?
Right.
He not wrong.
Right?
I pay my mortgage.
It's easy to say. I've been there with my wife is exactly that person who's on a logical level understands that all of this shit is conjecture. All of this is society has hammered you with nonsense. And yet, because she does come from a weird circumstance and had to work first, earn all these things and whatever, there is a part of her that's can you imagine if we accepted that gift? What would we be indebted to? What would happen?
Right.
Whatever. And you go, only poor people think like that. Wealthy people, they don't think about money. They're just of course I took someone else's money. What do you mean? I would hate to risk my assets. That's their relationship to money isn't the same as us who are that's the lifeblood of the economy. And they're no, we made it up to fuck you over. What do you mean?
Yeah,
and we'll keep doing that.
Yeah, we literally burn money when it gets too old.
Yeah, what?
They take it out of circulation.
Den of Thieves.
No, I don't know.
Watch it. It's the best movie ever.
We're not even too old, too tattered.
Yeah, I think the whole thing is, who is this person? It seems like they're the same age, they're relatives, they're close, whatever. But what type of person is it, right? Because I have friends who I would be I accept that money and I know that there's not going to be any in debt. Also, as someone who's accepting this gift, you have the willpower to, if they come to you and say, well, do this for me, you could just no, I'm not going to do that if I don't want to do it. You know what I mean? So I don't know if I would feel indebted per se, but I feel it really depends on who the person is giving the money and what type of person they are. And if you think they would do something like that versus
everyone does everything selfishly. So even if they're the best person in the world, you can assume they're paying off this debt because they're it makes me feel good to see you feel good about it.
Yeah.
Well, that
great.
sounds healthy. I mean, I think that's the whole problem is that now we've gotten into this thing where ridiculous wealth is almost noble, and it's well, no, you're hoarding it, bro.
Yeah,
let the money circulate.
Exactly,
You fucking idiots. I personally think there should be no billionaires, and it took me a while to get on board for that. But I actually think it's bad for the billionaires. I think
it's not a moralist thing. It's you're making yourself a target, and people are hungry. and you look like food.
They're a target, and I think there are hyper-driven people who just do want to spend their whole life earning money. And I actually think that the current system, all they do is like play financial games, pump up the stock market, and all this bullshit.
They play with fake money.
They play with essentially fake money, you know. And in this case, these seem like some kind of like healthy, reasonable rich people who are like, look, we're ridiculously wealthy.
Yeah.
Because here's the whole thing about money. Like, if you have even probably $100 million, there's really nothing you can't do. You can live off the interest of that money. You can go to only 5-star properties, eat a 5-star meal every single night, you know, for like a dozen people. You could have 11 kids, you can have 10 kids and a spouse. Like, what are you going to do? Like, why would you need your own yacht? Rent the yacht, Mark. Rent the fucking yacht, Zucks, you piece of shit. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
All that in a total agreement. Where it gets so dicey is that the wife is like, no, I don't want this. And then even though it would be the best thing for both of them, honestly true, you can't do anything behind your partner's back.
Right. Yeah. The lying is asshole. You can't lie.
I'm with you.
with
I'd be like, there's something like like my wife is one of the pickiest eaters in the world, right?
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that about her.
She's overcome a lot.
Okay.
But she just knows what she would never describe herself, but she's like, no, I know what I like. And I'm like, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But if I ever like lied to her about something, I was like, oh, this is actually chicken or whatever. And then she ate it and loved it. And then I told her that I think we've had this scenario before.
Yeah.
She'd freak the fuck out.
Yeah.
Deception. Like that would just be the the thing that she, you know.
Yeah.
So like, I understand that. I've been between these like rock and hard places where you're like, if we just do this thing, it makes our whole life easier. And they're like, yeah, but then that changes me and how I feel about myself and how I look at myself. And they're like, I get it. You're wrong. But that is you. And I decided to be on team you. So like, I have to.
Team you.
You know.
I have to go with it.
There's got to be some compromise. I'd be like, what if we paid off half the mortgage so that it makes it easier on us, but we're still working to pay off the rest? I still feel that indebted to this guy?
Is a third rail situation. I think this is like abortion. There's no compromise here.
Yeah.
I feel like you don't turn down something like this because someone has this crazy toxic capitalist propaganda belief that you have to earn everything. It's like you didn't though. That's the whole thing. Is like you didn't earn the roads out there, sweetheart. You didn't earn English. You didn't earn the alphabet. A lot of technology came out.
But do you see her as a victim
You
too?
still are earning things. I think to
To an
say
extent,
that,
but
is
it's
a
like-
little bit.
Well,
You're still putting yourself out there. You're still doing the work. Like a lot of people don't even do that.
Well, of course, you earned it relative to other people in the society, but like you were also born into a society that empowered you. Like you could have been born in, you know, in the woods.
Yeah, the
What if
spoils.
this person was? What if this person was born in a village in a different country and made their way to
Well,
America?
Then
and now
I would
earned this
change my
house?
answer. If
That's
they're
true.
from a village,
True.
then I would change my like a village with huts and straw
Sure,
roofs.
yeah.
Then yes, I would say.
But that straw didn't just come from.
It was exploited from somebody. No, I see her. Ultimately, everybody's a victim. Not only the people that like get to trick people like her and make them into hardworking automatons, like they seem like the monsters. Everybody involved in this system is a victim. That's ultimately what my
Right, that's it. There's
my
no-
purview
there's no
of it. There's no
ethy.
real
Right.
winners.
There's no
Right.
ethic consumption.
Because you look at the rich people at the top, you're like, yeah, you seem happy.
Yeah, like
the portrait of happiness.
yeah,
Like-
you seem insane, and you're
Yeah.
on Twitter all day. There's two people
Yeah,
that refers to you
literally,
now.
literally.
you guys are spending all day on
Yeah,
Twitter, which we
yeah.
all know is the
Yeah, and
path to having the worst day.
And then you look at the poorest people in the world, you're like, they're getting drunk in an alley. You're like, that's fun.
they're so happy.
Compared to a guy figuring out which one of his sons he can suck blood out of to live.
Oh my gosh.
Take me to the alley.
I mean, I agree with you guys. You should run it by the wife, and I guess he could have a conversation. I would sooner say, like, if he was like, you know what, my wife won't let me, and so I'm just going to take it for myself.
Right. Well, that's what I was going to say.
Not pay the mortgage off. Further gamble it on more capitalistic endeavor.
There we go.
But also, if he accepted the money as an individual, he could do whatever the fuck he wanted with it
That's
and use
fair
it for the mortgage.
And I don't think it's fair for the wife to say, no, you're not allowed to accept a gift. I think that would be unfair. So I actually do think this I'm leaning a certain way. Now, top comment went ESH. Hiding things from wife when she explicitly stated her opinion would make you the asshole, but your wife forcing you to refuse life-changing, no strings attached money from a wealthy relative makes her an asshole. You have the right to accept that money, but you can't lie to her. But wait, did he tell the wife? Oh yeah, wife is not comfortable accepting the money.
That was his little solution is like, he's like, what if I just don't tell her and then the money that we're supposed to be putting into
He did tell her because she was not comfortable accepting the money. Her stance is she's worked for everything.
But I know, but the second last line, would I be the asshole if I accept the gift without telling my wife?
Oh, so he has to tell his wife that he's accepting
He
it.
told her that the gift was proposed, and then she was like, absolutely not. We're not taking that money.
And now he wants to do it
So he
behind her
goes
back.
like, what if I just take it and don't tell her? Is that a big deal?
No, she's being unreasonable. You can't.
She is, of course.
I think
maybe everyone's
He
the
should
asshole,
tell
though.
her.
But yeah, he should. If he's gonna do this, she's being an asshole, sure. But if he's gonna do this thing behind her back, he's also being an asshole.
Yeah.
And maybe everyone can be an asshole.
I think, yeah, I guess you're right.
Maybe that's what capitalism is. We just have to accept that there's no ethical non-assholery under this.
There's no ethical non-assholery.
It's the lying, right? Because then even when you're like venting to your friends about what an asshole boyfriend or asshole husband you have for accepting a large amount of money to pay off our mortgage, that doesn't sound very
I know.
like you don't have much of a leg to stand on besides the lying. It's the lying that is the bad thing.
Also, the conceit of these people when they're like, we have to earn it. I'm like, can I earn it by sales? Because that's lying.
Yeah.
Just lie to you about
really need
We
this
earn it by being
thing.
friends with this dude we have over for dinner and game nights all the time.
He should be transparent. It's going to come out anyway, and then it's
come
going to be a
out.
whole problem.
Sure
He's
will.
like trying to avoid a conflict. So yeah, I actually am at ESH. I think that's clean.
Agreed.
All around.